What's up, guys? It's Chris Rob bringing you another edition of the Car Concierge Show, the show that helps with the buying, selling, maintaining, and repairing of your vehicle. On today's show, we're going to have a similar theme where we talk about the total disregard of our fellow people when it comes to the roads that we drive on. We're going to talk about a road rage incident where a young man took the life of an elderly man. We're going to talk about a police officer who decided he was going to do an authorized police chase. And then when the people he were chasing died in a crash, he decided he was going to laugh about the incident and then try to cover it all up. And last but not least, we're going to talk about something that we've talked about a couple times on this show. We're going to talk about the illegal immigrant and CDL driver's license situation, whereas another illegal immigrant was in another accident, killing several people, and that led to a finding out of the fact that California has decided it is going to, or has given out over 60,000 CDL driver's licenses to people who can barely pass the rules to be members of the United States. All right, so let's jump straight into it. First off, we're going to talk about a story where a Kansas City man decided he was going to take the life of an elderly man in a road rage incident. So this is going to be a quick reader. And this is going to be from KMBC News out in Kansas City. Kansas City man charged in connection with road rage shooting left one man dead. Now, they did look a video, but it didn't have very much information. So we're going to just read the story because reading the story is a little bit more interesting on what happened. And this is from Chloe Godding. And this is, of course, Kansas City, Missouri. A Kansas City, Missouri man faces several charges in connection with a shooting at Gardner Avenue and Northeast Chateau Trafficway that left a man dead. Laken Logan has been charged with second-degree murder, unlawful use of a weapon, and 2 counts of armed criminal action for a September 23rd shooting. Officers with the Kansas City Police Department responded to the area of Gardner and Chateau on reports of a shooting. When they arrived, they found a car halfway onto the median and a man suffering apparent trauma to his head. The man was taken to the hospital, was pronounced dead a short time after. He was identified by police as Cleveland Wright, 57. The victim's wife, who was in the car with him, said they were out doing grocery deliveries and noticed a dark-colored SUV cut them off once they entered Chateau. She said the SUV sped toward them, and when she lowered her window, she heard the driver yell, "Boy," in their direction, according to court documents. Wow. She reportedly told police her husband reached for what she thought was a gun. She reportedly told police her husband reached for what she thought was a gun and then heard several gunshots and crouched to avoid the gunfire. The suspect then drove away. Okay, I get it. She reportedly told police her husband reached for what she thought was a gun. Her husband reached for... I don't know. Detectives began investigating and looking through video footage to identify the suspect's vehicle. Video allegedly showed the suspect vehicle speed away and cutting off the victim, aggressively braking in front of them. They were able to track a vehicle to Logan, who fit the suspect description provided by the victim's wife. She also identified him as in a lineup of photos. On October 19, detectives went to Logan's home and saw a vehicle matching the exact description with its temporary license plate torn off. Logan was taken into custody on October 22nd, nearly a month after the shooting. Logan's girlfriend told police that he had told her about the incident a few days after it happened and said his friend had told him to turn around and say something to the victim after he allegedly swerved into his lane. Logan told police a similar account, saying he and his friend were driving when a car swerved into their lane. He said he turned around to go after the vehicle because he allegedly wanted to fight the other driver and get an apology, according to court documents. He told police that he said something along the lines of, watch how you're driving, boy, according to court documents. He said he saw the driver with a gun and fired multiple shots. Logan's friend, who was in the car at the time, told police that prior to the shooting, Logan was turning red and mad, and he told him to chill. After Logan shot the driver, his friend reportedly asked him why he did it, to which Logan said he didn't know, according to court documents. The two drove back to work and finished their shift. Logan reportedly stated to police, "I killed a man that did not deserve it, neither did I," according to court documents. Logan is being held on $750,000 cash-only bond. So, this is our first extreme incident of, people just truly not caring about his fellow man. I mean, we're talking about a traffic incident. We're talking about a gentleman in his 50s driving around delivering groceries with his wife Seemed to be a good man. I read other articles about Mr. Cleveland Wright, and this is just sad, and it's just a situation where we are dealing with a world where we have a lot more people who, I don't know if it's a mental situation or they just don't have the intelligence to realize what they're doing, but we're running into a world where there's lots of people who are deciding that they can do almost anything they want, taking lives, shooting guns, all these things that we found for quite some time that have been quite illegal. And most people, in most cases, understand that shooting a gun and killing someone or any of these other things would lead you to jail, lead you to a situation which would be horrible for you and your family. And yet we continue to find day in and day out people doing these things. The young lady last week, they shot my friend Murph's son over in Annapolis. Where are these people getting this audacity? Where are these people getting this gall? Where are these people getting this idea that they could do these things and there won't be repercussions? And specifically in this day and age with all the video technology and all the ways that they can figure out if you've committed a crime, if you're the culprit, why would people continue to do these things in a world that's not going to destroy them, but in the end, they're destroying lives? He took Mr. Wright's life in front of his wife. That is just the ultimate horribility. This man has lost his life and he was out doing good, delivering groceries with his wife. And the whole situation with him calling him a boy leads us down a road of racism and bigotry and all these other situations where we could talk about this young man as somebody who is evil to some degree that we can't calculate right now because we just don't have enough information. But we do know that he is a person who has decided that he has the ability and power and right to take another man's life. And all we can do is hope that the judicial system over in Kansas City, the correct people over in Kansas City do the right thing and throw the book at this kid and never let him get out of jail ever again. Because this is what I'm talking about. And what really brought us to this day and to these stories and talking about it this way is that situation with Murph and his son lose his life over in Annapolis. As the car concierge, the most important thing I think is for our cars to be safe and our roads to be safe. And we're running into a situation where we can obviously see that there's lots of situations where our roads are just not safe. And it's getting to a point where it's almost better for most people to, catch the bus, catch trains in some situations. But we know that those things, including planes, those are not even safe anymore. How many situations have we seen planes going down, buses getting, hit or smashed into? Our roads are really, really, truly getting completely and utterly unsafe. And even with the invention of EV vehicles and all this technology, has it really affected the amount of people that are dying on our roads? I don't think it has. And of course, we know that it's just going to continue to get worse because we have other stories just like this one. A situation where, the people who are, positioned to protect us, positioned to help us, positioned to do the things that are right for us, are deciding that they're going to do things that they're not supposed to do and cause us to lose our lives. Let's check out this story about this police officer who is in trouble for getting into a police chase and causing some people to crash and then laughing about it. Let's check it out.
A mother wants to know why former co-workers are supporting an ex-police officer now facing criminal charges. An illegal chase killed her son. Co-workers and others wrote letters highlighting Donnie Smith's character and service. Channel 2's Tom Jones is live in Clayton County tonight. And Tom, the mother pointed out that the former officer is accused of not reporting the crash and leaving her son and a woman there to die.
That's right, Linda. And prosecutors say former College Park Sergeant Donnie Smith tried to hide the video of that crash that happened here and tried to hide him laughing on that video. That's why Dialosa Benton wants to know what was going through the mind of his fellow officers who wrote those letters.
That's not a good officer. If that's the case, are you doing the same thing?
Deal Lisa Benton was angry. Several officers wrote character letters for the now former College Park police sergeant accused of initiating an unauthorized chase that led to the death of her son and another woman. Donnie Smith's attorney read this letter in court.
He says it's important to recognize that this incident does not define the totality of his character or service.
Benton disagreed with that.
If he was such a good officer, why didn't he stop? Why didn't he call it in? Why did you try and hide a tape?
Smith is accused of initiating that unauthorized chase at speeds more than 100 miles per hour in August. When the car crashed at 285 East I-75 South exit ramp, police say Smith never stopped to help or report what happened and tried to conceal the video of the incident and was captured on video laughing after the crash.
Why would you laugh like you did it intentionally? Like, mission accomplished.
Smith's attorney asked the judge for a $15,000 bond on a vehicular homicide charge. Prosecutors asked for no bond.
This is a troubling case as we have two individuals that are deceased.
But the judge gave Smith an $80,000 bond.
He shouldn't have been granted a bond, and I hope that he don't come up with the money to come home.
And Smith faces other charges, including reckless driving, hit and run, and violation of oath. He was placed on home confinement to where he can only go to work, church, to the doctor, or see his attorney. We're live in Clayton County. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
We can all agree that, you know, the blue shield of, you know, that goes with being a police officer is going to help this gentleman get out of jail. We can all understand that. And what we have to realize is that, you know, what I will say first is that we have to ask why they were running, why there was a chase in the first place when he, as an officer, that they should have just pulled over for it and this wouldn't have happened and those people wouldn't have died. So just get that out the way first. But we will go into the process of stating that what this officer did was wrong. He was not authorized to chase these people. You know, and I watch a lot of, you know, OPL and live PD situations, and they do show a lot in Clayton County, so I do know a lot about what's going on out there. I know standardly in Clayton County, they're going to chase you, and they're going to catch you, and they're going to put you in jail, and they say that, you know, vigorously and boldly. But we have to be mindful that there are other people in these cars. You know, and there was a case, I watched OPL the other night, and there was a gentleman who was driving a Cadillac, and he just wasn't pulling over. He wasn't pulling over, said he did the standard pit maneuver, and it tore his car up. I mean, you know, tore left front wheel off, just tore his car up, smashed it up against a brick wall on the highway. And they got him out the car, and all I could think of is that, you know, because the guy, he got out, he's like, I didn't do anything wrong, and eventually what ended up happening was that they were originally pulling him over for what they thought he had a warrant, but he didn't have a warrant. So my mind was like, okay, well, they shouldn't have been trying to pull him over in the first place. But in the end, you know, because he didn't pull over, because he didn't do what he was supposed to do, he got his car destroyed, and of course he went to jail. And you can never get over the true fact of the matter that, you know, you just need to obey the laws or obey these police officers when you're on these roads. You know, because you could lose your life if you don't obey the police officers, and that's what we're talking about. You know, this police officer did something drastically wrong. He should not. If they're saying that he was not authorized to chase these people, he should not have chased them. And the laughing situation, you know, I wish I could have heard that or got more evaluation of what happened when they said he was laughing when this incident occurred. But that's bad in itself too. I mean, there's a reason that this gentleman is in prison or in jail right now. There's a reason that he's trying to get a bond, which of course he's going to get about $80,000 bond. I guess that's $8,000 to get out, so he'll be out. And, you know, once he's back out, you know, he's going to go about his life. But of course, there are two people who can't do that anymore, that are gone from this world because of his actions. because of their actions as well, but more his actions. So I understand the mother's frustration. I understand the desire to make our roads safe, and that means not only the people on our roads that are driving, but our police officers as well. If there are situations that you're not supposed to be chasing people and causing crashes that kill people, then you shouldn't be chasing people and causing crashes that kill people. And if it wasn't that case, then you wouldn't be in jail right now. So the fact that he is a police officer that did this thing and then tried to cover up, which is ultimately that is what's going to sink him, his attempt to cover up this situation. And it just tells us that, you know, the police is an entity that we hire people in, that we almost have to or need to have some police officers that just don't have any biases and just don't have any hate in their heart and just don't have any desire to cause harm to others. And that is an extremely hard thing to do. It's an extremely hard thing to weed out of police officers. I know there's several tests that they do, but of course, we've always said that police officers are those people who were in high school were getting beat up in high school, and those people will come with animosity towards other people. So it's just a hard situation all the way around to dictate on, you know, the right police officers to hire, the right people to hire, and to make sure that those people have other people's best intentions in mind when they're going about their business. Okay? All right, so last but not least, we're going to, of course, dive back into a situation that has been ongoing for quite some time. The whole storyline when it comes to illegal immigrants getting CDL licenses, when it's, you know, Kentucky going behind the wall and giving up $200 so these people get their CDLs, whereas California just giving out random CDLs for people who can't speak the language or have driver's licenses that say no name given on them. What? So let's check out a story about another case of a illegal immigrant who has his CDL driver's license causing a massive accident, which leads us to the story of California giving out over 16,000 CDLs to illegal immigrants. Let's check it out.
Right. And horrible scenes on a California freeway Tuesday. We warn you, of course, this video could be very upsetting. 3 people were killed when a semi-truck driven by an illegal immigrant plowed into traffic just east of Los Angeles. It's the most recent of several incidents across the country that we've been reporting on for you here. And William LaJeunesse is in LA with more. Hi, William.
Well, Dana, sources say the driver is a 21-year-old illegal immigrant caught and released at the California border by the Biden administration in March of 2022. Yet the state of California gave Jashanpreet Singh, an Indian national living near San Francisco, a commercial driver's license. CHP charged...
All right, first off, how can he be caught and released and then get his commercial driver's license? See, and this is one of them situations where one of my favorite content creators would say, you got to follow the money. You know, these are situations where the, you know, government here in California, the, you know, trucking companies, they're all, you know, doing these things to try to save a buck, try to hire these illegal immigrants, because of course you can pay them less money, just like I was talking last time. You can pay them less than you can pay an American truck driver. And this is the type of situations we put ourselves in. These are the type of situations we put ourselves in where we have these people on our roads that can't read the signs, you know, are doing drugs or just not privy to the way that we drive here in the States. Let's keep going.
Him with DUI and multiple counts of vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. He's expected in court today. So the crash happened Tuesday on the 10 freeway outside LA. Singh, in an 18-wheeler, made no attempt to slow down, slamming into the back of an SUV before plowing into multiple other vehicles in the same lane. He then crashed into 2 more trucks on the shoulder.
The driver was transported for injuries to a local hospital, and at the hospital he was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs.
So illegal immigrants and foreign nationals who can't speak English or read road signs getting into deadly crashes, all too common.
And this is the other story we did where the gentleman was making the illegal U-turn, and then the people were in the van. Of course, you see the van right there where, you know, they crashed into him and they died. And this is pretty much was the true start of all of this investigation when it comes to illegal immigrants and their CDL licenses, and then a story about Kentucky giving out the CDL license to illegal immigrants in the back doors. And it's opened up our eyes to the fact that our roads are completely and utterly unsafe when it comes to who we're giving these CDLs to. Let's keep going.
A few months ago, you remember this Indian national killed 3 in Florida, making an illegal U-turn. Florida is suing California for giving him a CDL. According to the federal audit, California issued 62,000 commercial driver's licenses to those who are not citizens or permanent residents. Now, in California also gave a CDL to a semi-driver here accused in this crash that killed a motorist in Texas. The trucker only spoke Mandarin. All Tuesday, ICE put a detainer on this illegal immigrant from Serbia who ran his truck into oncoming traffic and killed.
Wow. I mean, multiple cases of these people or illegal immigrants, causing accidents on our roads. And this is, it's amazing how the branches of what we consider an immigrant are, or, because I will agree that when you look at situations when it comes to like ICE and other things, what we see on TV is ICE detaining or arresting mostly, Spanish-speaking people, Mexican-looking people. But then again, the immigrants come in all shapes and sizes. Arabic, Mandarin, Serbian. And it's such a epidemic in our country that we just don't understand how we keep allowing them to come over to our country and take most of our jobs, whereas we have job shortages and all these other things that are causing us as American citizens not to be able to get these jobs. That's my biggest thing. I know several people who were trying to get their CDLs, try to get in certain jobs, and now to come up to find out that they couldn't get their CDLs and get certain jobs. But illegal immigrants who are just coming over our country, who haven't passed all the legalities to become illegal citizens, are getting these jobs because they're doing backdoor work with politicians or companies or trucking companies or whatever it is, to allow these people to get these CDLs and get this money that Americans kind of need. Let's keep going.
The Indiana man. And then check out this post last week from Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy of a foreign driver headed into oncoming traffic.
You are going the wrong way down the freeway. You are committing a felony right now.
Okay, what I'm doing, sir?
Well, one, why the going the wrong way down the freeway?
That's right. I'm doing it back.
So DOT calls this a national emergency. Recently, they imposed a ban on giving out new CDLs to non-U.S. residents.
That's a good idea.
Singled out California for having loose verification and documentation and skills test. Dana?
All right, William, thank you.
I want to bring in Bill Iseli, U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California. Bill, nice to see you again. Thanks for coming back on our show. I want to give more on this DUI arrest. He had to be traveling at a fast rate of speed. What happened here?
Yeah, I spoke to the DA. My understanding is he was traveling at a fast rate of speed and he did not apply his brakes at all. They do suspect he was under the influence of some type of stimulant. They are waiting for that toxicology report. I do suspect he will be charged with vehicular homicide. However, we're also looking at charges. We're opening an investigation to understand how he obtained a commercial driver's license from the state of California as an illegal immigrant, and we want to understand whether anyone in the DMV was complicit in issuing that driver's license to him.
Okay, that's just one case now. What about this 44-year-old TikToker who apparently showed up at ICE raids and filed them online with video and pictures, etc.? Here is Todd Lyons. He was on our show yesterday talking about it.
We'll stop it there. All right, so, and this is what we're talking about, guys. We live in this world that already has so many things that are just unsafe for us. We can't, our food is poison. Our water is poisoned. All these other things that are bad for us. And the one thing that we cannot continue to make as bad for us is our roadways. And that's what we continue to do, because it's so easy for a person to lose their lives on our roadways, where it be from a road rage incident, where it be from a cop just, being reckless with his authority when it comes to arresting somebody, whether it be the government or the state or any other entity giving out CDLs to people who shouldn't have them. Because let's face it, you should not have a CDL if you don't know our language, can't read our road signs, don't understand the way we drive on our highways. These are things that are pertinent for a person who is going to be a commercial driver to have. And let's face it, a large majority of these people that were given CDLs out here in California don't have those things. And furthermore, they don't have the most important thing, the right to be in our country. So what my thing is that shouldn't those people who already have the right to be in our country, and I'm not talking just about Americans, I'm talking about those people who did those things to gain the right to, the right to be an American, and those people, I'm talking about those people from here, I'm talking about those people who came over here and did those right things. Shouldn't those people be getting preferential treatment, whatever that word is? Shouldn't they be getting that first say-so when it comes to certain jobs? Shouldn't they be getting the assistance that, these illegal immigrants are getting? And that has been pretty much the biggest fight when it comes to illegal immigration, completely. Is a simple fact that illegal migrants are coming over the border and they're getting housing, they're getting health care, they're getting money, they're getting stipends, they're getting all of these things that so many American people who are from here, who've lived here their whole lives, can't get. I wanted to talk about real quick, and this is not strictly about cars, but there's been the whole storyline of, getting the assistance when it comes to like Section 8 and food stamps and all of those type of things. And it's not going to be really about cars per se, but I was just thinking that my perception on this whole storyline when it comes to, matter of fact, we're going to do, I'm going to step away from that. We're going to talk about that on another show, because I don't want to get away from the car situations that we're dealing with, because people are losing their lives, and that is what has to stop when it comes to our roadways. So let us pray that people start to realize that, people who honk at you or don't want to kill you and don't have any real malice at you, and that if somebody accidentally cuts you off on a roadway, that you don't have to kill them, that it was an accident and they could be very sorry, and you don't have to take their lives. And we have to understand that police officers have to do their job. So if a police is chasing you, stop, because a police chase is a deadly situation for not only you, the person who is driving the vehicle that is being chased. It's a deadly situation for the police officer, and it's a deadly situation for the people around you. So just stop. Please just stop. And last but not least, we have to put a kibosh on illegal immigrants getting these CDLs. And we have to come to some agreement or some situation where we investigate all these other situations of people who have CDLs, who are legal immigrants, who haven't passed the correct test and did the correct things to get those CDLs, because they are a danger on our highways. And we have to stop that. All right, guys, I'm going to let y'all go. This is Chris Surratt. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Car Concierge Show. Please hit the like, share, subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.